All right. So this is still Haley approved foods, but me and Laura are going to be making apple pies per the request of Frostide Fox in our comments. So I make my own pie crust. I want to show you how to do that. So this is just a food processor fitted with like a plasticky blade attachment thing. Haley, don't touch that. And it's really, pie crust is really easy. So I don't know why Laura doesn't make her own, but she doesn't. We need 2.5 cups of all-purpose flour. Get it nice and even. Right in. And we use the blade attachment to cut the butter in. So last week I showed you all a potato masher. It was really a butter cutter, like a pastry cutter, but you can use it for potato mashing too if you really want to. That was only 2 cups, my bad. So 2.5 cups of flour. And this should make you about 2 pie crusts. So I'm making 2 because we need a top and a bottom for apple pie. Okay. And then a cup of butter, so 2 sticks, very, very cold. Everything that can be cold should be for pie crust. And you'll peel that open. I don't know if you can see any of this, sorry. Peel that open. And we're gonna like cube. You don't wanna stick the whole thing in there because then you'll be waiting forever for it to cut. So slice up 1 stick, and then I go down the middle to make little cubes. And I'm not putting that in yet. I'm gonna get the second one ready. Should have had the butter pre-peeled, my bad. All right, pop, pop, pop. I already said it needs to be really cold. Everything that can be cold needs to be really cold. So I just pulled this out of the fridge. All right, nice little cubes. I'm gonna pop a couple in there for now, about 6 of them. And then I'm gonna put my top on and hope that this works because Haley kind of broke it before. Okay, pull this out and pulse. Just keep pulsing, adding butter. We're just letting that blade attachment, like I said, cut the butter into the flour until it's nice and crumbly. And then once it's crumbly, we will add some ice cold water. So I'm not going to cut this out. I'm going to show you the whole thing so that you can see the whole process and feel comfortable doing it yourself. I'm telling you, it's super easy. Just a little time consuming. And this is why I use a food processor, because if I were to do this by hand, first of all, I'd be jacked. Second of all, I'd be doing this all dang day. So a few little cubes at a time. I'm going to scrape down that side a little bit because some of the flour likes to collect on the side. Haley is not bossy at all. I don't know if y'all can hear her, but she's telling everybody what they're allowed to do and what they're not. Surprise, surprise. Keep going. I'm going to scrape down the sides again in a little bit. And this food processor is just a basic Cuisinart. I think I got it from my husband's grandma. Thank you. Okay, we're starting to get a little crumbly. I'm going to scrape down the sides again so that they can get some of that butter. It's getting thicker. And please use real butter and not margarine. Otherwise, this is not going to work well. You can also use shortening, but it has to be actual fat. It can't be an oil or it's not going to work. Okay. Very patient with it. I'm just going to turn it on and let it hold. Scrape down my sides again. It's getting nice and sticky. That's that fat breaking up and pulling the flour together. You can also tell it's got a little color to the flour now. Okay. Sorry. All right, so we're pretty crumbly. Got some, you can press it together a little bit, but it also crumbles very nicely. So scrape down the sides one more time, and now we're going to add our water. And just like the butter, the water needs to be super cold. Scrape that down, make sure it's all incorporated. Yay, there shouldn't be any chunks of butter left. All right. So, oh no. All right, so I'm going to put this back on, and then I'm going to add water right into the top. I'm going to start with about 3 tablespoons of ice water. So there's ice in there. Like I said, it needs to be really, really cold. Oh, I'm spilling it. 1, 2, 3. You can always add more, but you can't take it away. So we're going to pulse. Scrape. Add some more. Pulse. Scrape. Add some more until the crust comes together. And the reason everything needs to be really cold is because of those fats in there. If they start to melt, you're just going to have a messy, messy crust. So I will probably go ahead and do 2 more. Yeah, we'll go 3. It's still pretty dry. There's not really a good, this is how much you need to use. It just, you really got to watch it and play with it. By the way, we've gotten super fancy. We got a stand for the camera and microphones. So hopefully this is getting better for you all. All right, starting to come together. Kind of feeling it. Still a little dry. And now's when I'm going to get to doing like 1 at a time. I probably only need 1 more, maybe 2, just maybe. And ignore all my dishes in the background. I just washed dishes, so they're drying. All right. 1 more. And I'm just using a tablespoon. You could pour if you want, but I like to use the tablespoon because I have more control. All right. So if you can see, it's starting to kind of turn on its own. That means it's starting to come together. You really got to kind of feel it to see if it's ready. It should feel doughy. Little wet. Kind of like that if you squish it together. I like this. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn it all out onto some plastic wrap. I'm going to probably divide it in half, do 2 sets of plastic wrap, get them nice and flat so they're not a pain to roll out later for my pie crust. And then I'm going to get them in the fridge for a little bit. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment below and stay tuned for the apple pie bake-off.
That's for my quiz.